Chapter 28. Monday afternoon. Doreen looked over at Mac. "Wow," she said, "that was interesting." He shook his head. "You keep pulling on threads." "The threads are there," she said quietly, "but I don't know what it'll take to prove a will is fake." "I don't know either," he said, staring off into space. "I'll have to talk to the captain about it." Meaning, there has to be a reason to go down this path, he said quietly. Police resources are not to be used willy-nilly. And without any evidence pointing that Jude's done something wrong, we're at a dead end? Exactly, he said. Just because you want him to be a criminal, doesn't mean he is. I probably prodded the cat this morning, she said defiantly. Let's just hope he doesn't put in a formal police complaint. How did you know I was there? He called in, asking what his rights were. And he was given the same notification as everybody. You didn't attack him, you just accused him of something. Our guy says you have to watch that. I didn't actually accuse him of anything, she said. Jude has lawyers and that could make life difficult for you. She grumbled as she thought about it and nodded. Fine, she said, then she smiled, remembering the stack of papers still under her arms. You did say anything in the garbage was free and clear for other people to sort through. If you mean it's not an invasion of privacy, and you don't need a warrant for it, he corrected, then yes. She dropped the stack of papers on the table and said, well, these came from his recycling bin. She could feel his glare all the way across the kitchen. She turned and looked at him. Hey, I heeded the no trespassing sign, even when I wanted to dash inside the security gates and have a look around. What else could I do that at least was legal? Fine, he said. What is it? For all I know, it's just pizza flyers, because that's the only thing in his recycling bin. 1 million pizza boxes. Really? With all that money? Right. That's what I thought, she said. He could have a private chef, but who knows? At that, Doreen picked up the stack, divided it in half, and handed him half. Take a look to see if anything's there. They went through the papers and found receipts and bills. She whistled at the amount on the electric bill. Seriously? People pay this much for lights? For big houses like that, yes, he said. She had a bunch of other bills. His phone bill is here. Mac looked up at that comment. Does it have a listing of calls made? She nodded and handed over the top couple pages. Why would he print off this stuff? Maybe he prefers paper bills over digital. He looked at them and frowned. These are older. These are newer, she said. This is last year anyway. What number did you just call? For the sister? She read it off to him. He nodded. We've got lots of calls from that area code, but not to the same number. So, probably somebody else. Maybe. He pulled out his phone and dialed one of the numbers. I'm so fishing this time. Doreen looked at him in delight. She loved it when he took the initiative. Often, it was to the case's advantage. Yes, he said, Jude Burns recommended you to me. I understand you might help me with a problem. At that, Doreen's jaw dropped, and she sank back against her chair and watched the pro at work. Yes, I understand there's a price, he said. Can we meet? He turned his gaze to Doreen. But she didn't understand his expression. No, I'm not in the same province, he said. That's part of the problem. Doreen so wanted to hear what the guy was saying on the other end. Right, of course, you only work by reference. His eyebrows shot up as he listened further. I guess I'm wondering what the fee is. He nodded at whatever was said on the other end. For the same deal as Jude, yes. Doreen held her breath. It's hard to say. Right now there is a heart condition. Max stared at Doreen, his eyes going wide. Right, so we're talking 10,000 if there's already a heart condition. But it'll be what, 2 to 3 times that, if we don't have a heart condition? He nodded. Right. Okay, I can see that. And I guess you don't have a website or an email or anything like that? He stared at Doreen. Of course not. Just a phone number. Another moment of silence passed. Okay, let me know how I'll get back to you. He hung up. Jesus Christ. Did you just contact a murderer for hire? He raised his gaze to hers and said, yes. Not only that, basically I said Jude referred me to this guy, and that's the only way he works, by word of mouth. And to get the same deal as Jude was literally to have somebody declared dead by a heart attack, if they already had a heart condition. For $10,000? $10,000 with a heart condition, 3 times that if not. What do they do if not? Let's just say it's a whole lot more complicated, Max snapped. But, she said, staring at him, it looks to me like you have a killer out there charging fees, and Jude might have paid him. Based on what I just heard, he said, Jude definitely paid him. I don't know if it was for his ex-girlfriend, his father, or the lawyer. Well, if I get to add my opinion in the matter, she said stoutly, it'll be all 3. Mac looked at her and nodded. I'm afraid you're right. I need to talk to the captain. And like that, he booked it.